The night of March 27, 2025 settled over Ameenpur. A quiet stillness held the air. Three small children dreamt in their beds, Sai Krishna, Madhu Priya and little Gautam, innocent, unknowing. It was to be their last night on earth, a mother's sacred love, twisted into something monstrous. The ultimate betrayal lay in wait for them. Rajitha was their mother, their sworn protector, yet on this night she would become their executioner. She was a schoolteacher, a woman of education, but a chilling darkness had taken root in her soul. A horrifying plan began to form, eclipsing all reason. The unthinkable was about to unfold within their own home. Raghavendra Colony was a typical neighborhood. Families lived their lives, day by ordinary day. Soon it would become the scene of an unspeakable horror. Shockwaves of grief and disbelief would ripple outwards. How could such a thing happen here? In their midst, a mother. This is their story. This is their... Rajitha was 30 years old, a teacher entrusted with young minds. Her husband, Chennaiah, was 50. He drove a water tanker, a man of simple means. 20 years stretched between them, a significant gap. They had married in 2013, when Rajitha was still very young. She was Chennaiah's second wife. His first had tragically died. They resided in Ameenpur, in a modest dwelling. Their home was filled with the usual sounds of a young family. Sai Krishna, the eldest, at 12, Madhu Priya, a bright girl of 10, and Gautam, the youngest, only 8 years old. On the surface, Rajitha appeared a dedicated mother. She was known to be attentive to their education. But beneath this veneer of maternal devotion, trouble festered. Whispers circulated among relatives, talk of Chennaiah's alleged harassment, his temper. Their marriage was reportedly strained, perhaps to breaking point. It was around September or October of 2024. A Class 10 school reunion was being planned. During these preparations, Rajitha reconnected with Shiva Kumar. He was a former schoolmate, a familiar face from her youth. A spark, long dormant or perhaps entirely new, ignited between them. A dangerous, clandestine connection began to form. Daily telephone calls became their ritual. Secret meetings were arranged, away from prying eyes. For Rajitha, it was perhaps an intoxicating escape from a dreary, unsatisfying life. Their illicit affair blossomed quickly, intensely. Shiva Kumar seemed to offer her a different future, a life without Chennaiah, free from her current domestic burdens. Rajitha was evidently captivated by this vision. She began to yearn desperately for this new, imagined beginning, a beginning that would demand an unthinkable price. But Shiva Kumar's vision of their future together had conditions, cruel, selfish conditions. He wanted Rajitha, he professed, but only Rajitha. He did not want her children. Solve the problem of your children, he reportedly pressured her. The insidious seeds of murder, it seems, were sown. Section 4, Night of Unspeakable Horror, The Innocents Lost. The date was March 27, 2025, a Thursday. At around 6 o'clock in the evening, Rajitha made a call. She spoke to Shiva Kumar, her lover. Tonight, she is said to have whispered into the receiver, "I will do it tonight, I will kill them." He did not dissuade her. Instead, he encouraged her. "Do it quickly," he allegedly replied. "Execute the plan. There could be no turning back now, not for Rajitha. The terrible die was cast. Her husband Chennaiah left for his work, his usual night duty as a water tanker driver. He was entirely unaware of the horror about to unfold in his home. Rajitha then fed her 3 children their evening meal, curd rice, a common comforting dish. It was a mother's final deceptive act of seeming care. The clock ticked towards 10 in the evening. The children were asleep in their beds. Sai Krishna, Madhu Priya, little Gautam, trusting, vulnerable, unaware of the danger. Rajitha moved through the darkened rooms like a phantom, a towel clutched tightly in her hand. One by one she approached her sleeping children. She placed the towel over each child's nose and mouth. Section 5. Unraveling the Deception, the Search for Truth. It must have been food poisoning, Rajitha insisted to everyone. The curd rice, she claimed, must have been tainted. Police officers arrived at the scene in Raghavendra Colony. A palpable sense of suspicion hung heavy in the air. They meticulously searched the small house. No traces of poison were found anywhere. Just a grieving mother, whose grief felt strangely off. Her calm was unsettling. She seemed too composed, too detached. This was not the raw devastation of a bereaved parent. The small, lifeless bodies of the children were carefully removed. They were transported to Gandhi Hospital. A post-mortem examination was crucial to uncover the truth. The truth lay hidden, locked within their silent forms, waiting for forensic science to reveal what had truly happened. Pathologists searched for toxins, for any sign of poisoning, but they found none. Instead, they found clear, undeniable evidence of a struggle, of young lives violently, prematurely stolen. The autopsy reports delivered their devastating verdict. The children had died from asphyxiation, suffocation, not from poisoning as Rajitha had claimed. Her carefully constructed story immediately began to crumble, her cold, distant behavior at the scene. Section 6, Justice Demanded. A community in mourning. It was April 2nd, 2025. The arrests were made. Rajitha and her lover Shiva Kumar. Their dark, deadly pact was now exposed to the world. They were brought before the court to face the consequences. Justice, slow but inexorable, awaited them. The law would now decide their fate. For the three innocent lives they had so cruelly extinguished, the long, painful legal process had begun. The community watched, holding its breath. The charges were grave, reflecting the enormity of their crime. Triple murder, criminal conspiracy, destruction of evidence. Sangareddy District Superintendent of Police Paritosh Pankaj confirmed the details. The grim facts of the case shocked everyone to their core. The police believed they had their killers, but the arrests did little to soothe the profound pain. A deep, raw wound had been inflicted upon the community's heart. The memory of those children would not fade. Ameenpur reeled from the news. Horror, disbelief. Then a rising tide of outrage. A mother, her own flesh and blood. It was incomprehensible. The community mourned the loss of Sai Krishna, Madhu Priya and Gautam. Section 7, Echoes of Darkness. When love turns lethal. Why? The question resonated through Ameenpur. It still does. What could possibly drive a mother to such an horrific act? Rajitha's motives remained a subject of anguished speculation. Was it a desperate, twisted attempt to escape? An escape from an unhappy marriage, from a life she despised? Did she crave a new start so fiercely? A fresh beginning with her lover, Shiva Kumar? A beginning she was willing to purchase at any cost? Even the precious lives of her own innocent children. And what of Shiva Kumar, the catalyst, the manipulator? He appeared to have fueled her desperation, her discontent. He planted the insidious seed of an evil solution. No children, he had reportedly insisted. His selfish demand, his callousness, his cruelty were instrumental in this tragedy. He was surely equally to blame for the young lives extinguished. A toxic, deadly influence who preyed on her vulnerability. Their relationship was not love, it was a fatal obsession, a pact that led directly to the gates of hell. Unchecked emotions, they can be a terrifying force. Infatuation can curdle into dangerous obsession. Resentment left to fester can erupt into unimaginable rage. Desperation, if allowed to take root, can lead to utter destruction.